Hello everybody, it is Overwatch viewer here. I am going to show you chest plate talents today. So with the chest plates, their talents are interesting, to say the least. So tag team, the last enemy you have damaged with a skull is with a skill is marked. Dealing weapon damage to the enemy consumes the mark to reduce active cooldowns by 6 seconds. Cooldown for 4 seconds. This talent is atrocious, to say the least. It wants you to mix using skills and weapons, which is okay, excuse me, but not in the sense it wants you to use it. And it has a cooldown on it too, which it makes it just as bad. Connect momentum. When in combat, each skill generates a stack while active or not on cooldown. Stacks increases total skill damage by 1% and total skill repair by 2% up to 15 stacks. So either 15% max skill damage and 20%, 30% max skill repair. That's nice for a blended build. They lose on cooldown though, so it's a good skill talent, but it's nothing too crazy. Skill kills have a 25% chance to reset skill cooldowns. Now that's a better one than tag team, for instance. So basically, if you're using let's say you're using a mortar. With mortars, you could get kills very easily. Now for a second skill, you could use seekers. So you use the mortar, activate seekers, use the mortar, get another kill, maybe two, use the seekers again, use the mortar, it should be low on ammo, then the seeker should be off cooldown. Don't use it. Use the last of your mortar ammo. It goes on cooldown. Then use your seekers to get your mortar back. So it's kind of like an infinite loop type of situation that you can set it up properly. Very nice. Spotter, one of the best DPS talents for the chest plate, if not the best one. Amplifies total weapon damage and skill damage to post enemies by 15%. Very nice one. This is very good with the Keenbreaker. Very good. It's not the best with the skills because most skills where I use glass cannon for the ones that are not shooting oriented, but it's a very good talent. Explosive delivery. Now this would be good. It could have been good. So whenever a skill is drawn 1.5 seconds after landing, so you have to wait after you throw it too. It creates an explosion, damaging enemies within 5 meters. Damage scales with skill tier, dealing 25 to 100% damage of a concussion grenade at most 1 point skill. Why with a concussion grenade? Nowadays, you can't kill anything with a concussion grenade. You could kill yourself at most, but no NPCs will be killed by this. No players will be killed by this. They need to upgrade that damage to something else, but it's bad talent. Do not use it. Empathetic Resolve is an amazing talent. It's an amazing healer talent, and you can use it for yourself, but I wouldn't recommend it. So repelling an ally increases their total weapon damage and skill damage by 3 to 15% for 20 seconds. 1 to 7% itself. So its effectiveness is increased by your skill tier. So if your skill tier 6, you get 15%. If your skill tier 1, you get 3%. And then 1 to 7 for yourself, respectively. It's an amazing healer talent. Amazing. If you're running a healer, this is definitely one you should be using. It also buffs yourself by 7% for your skills and your weapon damage, which is pretty nice. Now, Overwatch. Overwatch is a good talent, but Overwatch isn't amazing. So if you're using Overwatch, it increases your weapon damage and your skill damage. So after staying in cover for 10 seconds, it increases you and your allies' total weapon damage and skill damage by 12%, as long as you remain in cover or in a cover-to-cover move. Now this is a very good talent, especially for the hybrid build that I made. I posted the video a couple days ago. So By increasing both weapon and skill damage for you and your team, this is an amazing talent. So I would definitely use this. Oh, that's high life. I would definitely use this if you can. It is amazing for your team buff because if you're running it in countdown or if you're running it solo, imagine this. If you're running it with a team in a legendary, every single person gets 12% weapon damage and 12% skill damage. So that's 36% weapon damage and 36% skill damage that they did not have. Well, not individually, but as like I'm adding them up as a group, and you will be blazing it. Well, it's 48 if you include yourself. 48% blazing it through the mission that much faster. And if you're running countdown, you times that by 8. So that's a lot more. That's like 96% right there. That is amazing. You will be blazing through things, and people will love you. But you do have the same cover. So Intimidation. Now, Intimidation is a decent talent. However, the conditions for it to be effective is very difficult to activate. So while you have a bonus armor, gain 1 stack each second. So after 7 seconds, you're at max stack if you have bonus armor for those 7 seconds. Each stack increases weapon damage by 5% to enemies within 15 meters. So you only get the damage to if an enemy is within 10 meters of you. And those are the only ones who get the extra damage from you. That will take more damage from you. All stacks are lost when you have no bonus armor. So if you're at 6 stack and you break and yourself for 1 second, and then you get your bonus armor again, you lose all your stacks. There's no continuation. You start from 0 again. But it is very good. If you could get it to work properly, this could be pretty good. However, it's very high risk, high reward because you have to be very close to enemies. Unbreakable, best PvP talent, and is a pretty good PvE talent. This is an amazing talent to have. So when your armor is depleted, repair 95% of your armor. Cooldown is 1 minute. So this is a second life in PvE, and in PvP, this is reduced to 50%. But it is a very good one to keep yourself alive. Vanguard. Deploying a shield makes it invulnerable for 5 seconds and grants 45% of your armor as bonus armor to all allies for 20 seconds. This is an amazing talent. So basically, if you're in a bad situation and you pop the shield, it's invulnerable for 5 seconds. So you have 5 seconds to get yourself the hell out of there by walking backwards. So it is very nice, and it also gives half of your armor to your teammates. It is very good. It has a cooldown of 25 seconds though, but that's not that bad. It's a very useful talent. Protected Reload is atrocious. I don't even want to read it because it just makes me mad that this thing could not be better. Grants 20% bonus armor while reloading. Okay, it's whatever. Grant 0 to 18% of your armor as bonus armor to all other allies when they are reloading based on your blue core attribute. So if you're full red or your skill tier or your full skill, they get 0% armor. That is dumb. It is dumb. It is atrocious. Like they could have made this a lot better. It's not even a good buff for yourself. Like it's just bad. It is just bad. Glass Cannon. All damage you deal is amplified by 25%, but all damage you take is amplified by 50%. So basically, it's a double-edged sword, but your edge is sharper to yourself. But it's a very good talent. It is an amazing talent, especially for skill builds. This is an amazing talent to amplify the damage to players, like for PvP or to NPCs, because all you will be doing is staying in cover and letting your skills do all the killing. So it is very good. because it's all damage you deal. So it's not just the damage you deal from your gun, but also your skills. Gunslinger. Weapon swapping increases total weapon damage by 20% for 5 seconds. This buff is lost for 5 seconds if you swap while it is active. So if you just swap to a weapon, you can't swap back. But it's a very good DPS talent. But it only lasts 5 seconds, which is kind of annoying. Kind of very annoying. But it is a good talent. Focus. This increases total weapon damage for 5% for every second you are while scoped with an 8-time scope or higher, up to 50%. So you need to be scoped in for 10 seconds to get the most damage out of this thing. But you don't have to be. It requires a scope with 8 times magnification or higher. It's a very good sniper scope or a rifle scope. This is a very good talent. You can also use this with like ARs, LMGs, and stuff like that. But mostly you would just be using it with snipers and marksman rifles. So it's good. It's a very good one. It's not the best thing you could use because you have to be scoped in for a long time. So it is not the best. Spark. Damaging an enemy with a skill increases total weapon damage to 50% for 15 seconds. So this is kind of like Gunslinger, but the duration is longer. So this is a very good talent. Very, very good talent. Especially combined with Instinct. So if you're using it for PvE, this talent for Instinct, you can also use it for PvP, is amazing. It gives you a lot of damage. And the duration's long. Braced. While in cover, weapon handling is increased by 45%. That's pretty good, but it's only while in cover, and it's just weapon handling. So there's a bunch of other things you could use instead of this, like mods on the gun to make it better. So I would not use this. Obliterate. Critical hits, only critical hits, increase total weapon damage by 1% for 5 seconds, stacks up to 25%. This is a very good talent for ARs, SMGs, mainly SMGs, ARs, and LMGs if you build it properly. But the problem is it only lasts for 5 seconds, so it's only really good for ARs and SMGs because the reload time on an LMG will kill this thing because it only lasts for 5 seconds. It stacks up to 25 times, so this is the hardest hitting like talent you can have on your chest plate besides Intimidate. It is very, very nice and easy to use. Trauma. Trauma is a very interesting talent because it is very good in PvP, but you can also use it in PvE. So it applies bleed to an enemy. It applies blind to an enemy hit in the head, but it has on a cooldown for 30 seconds. Applies bleed to an enemy hit in the chest. It has a cooldown of 30 seconds. This is a very good PvP talent because as soon as you meet somebody, you could blind them instantly, like with preparation. And they'll blind for a while, and you can just gun them down. They can't really do too much because you can just gun them down while they're blind. So it's very hard to kill. But as soon as you kill that first person, or you blind that first person, his other teammates can kill you very easily. So be wary about that. Mad Bomber. Grenade radius is increased by 50%. Grenades that kill enemies are refunded. Grenades can now be cooked by holding down the fire button, making them explode earlier. Gain 50% bonus armor while aiming grenades. See, I'm not sure where they were going with this because grenades don't kill anything in this game. So, besides yourself. So, I don't know. But grenades don't kill anything, so these talents need to go. Reassign. Killing the enemy adds 1 round of special ammo into your sidearm. Cooldown of 15 seconds. This was decent. It had some possibility of using things, but its special ammo could be random and useless, or it could be very good. And it has a 15-second cooldown, and it's only 1 round of special ammo. You could make a build with this, but it's not going to be anything too fancy or too crazy. Tamper-proof. Enemies that walk within 3 meters of your hive, turret, remote post are shocked. Arm time, 2 seconds. Cooldown is 10 seconds per skill. So after you throw it, it takes 2 seconds to arm, and then it shocks people around it. So it's pretty. You could use this pretty good with capping a Dur in PvE or PvP as well, but it's nothing too great because most of the times those skills will die in PvP, but in PvE you could use this pretty well. Efficient. Using an armor kit has a 50% chance not to consume the armor kit. Specialization armor kit bonuses are increased by 100%. Requires 10 seconds to arm the talent. This is a very good talent for both PvE and PvP. Mostly PvP, because with this you could make your firewall med kit and stuff like that double the duration and stuff. Very nice. It's pretty nice. Also in PvE you could use this very effectively too, because a lot of backpack talents and it synergizes very well with efficient. A lot of buyback talents like energize. If you pop a med kit, you get an extra skill tier and you go overcharge with it. If you're at skill tier 6, there are some synergies with efficient, which is very nice. And also, it doesn't consume the med kit, which is very nifty. Entrench. If you are below 30% armor, headshots from cover repair 20% of your armor, but have to cool down 3 seconds. Now, this thing should not have a cooldown. For one, this thing is a PvE talent. If you use this in PvP, then you deserve the extra armor you're getting from it. But it should not have a cooldown. It could be a very nice talent if it wasn't for it having a cooldown. This could be actually pretty useful for sniper builds. Headhunter. Headhunter is a good talent, but it requires very specific builds. After killing an enemy with a headshot, your next weapon hit within 30 seconds deals an additional 125% of that killing blow's damage. Damage is capped to 800% of your weapon's damage. This is raised to 1,250% if headshot damage is greater than 150%. Now, I know that's a lot of numbers and a lot of conditions, but basically, if you kill somebody, your weapon damage gets an extra damage for the next hit, and hopefully you land a headshot to increase the damage to 800%. But if your build has more than 100%, 150% headshot damage, the damage it could go up to is 1,250%. So basically, you're just gonna be headshotting people with a sniper rifle, or if you have a good pistol build with Regulus, you just keep headshotting people and keeping the train going. It's very nice. I made a build with a sniper like a week ago. I would recommend checking it out. But these are the chestplate talents. They all have their uses. Well, most of them have their useless. But chestplate talents and backpack talents are the most important ones. So make sure you figure out what you want from your build and assign appropriately.